Well, hello again, everyone. I like to every once in a while make a video related to the discussion boards because even though I can give you individual feedback, it's kind of nice to, have a conversation since in online education, we don't get to meet in a classroom and have our discussion, live. So in week four, I was asking you to look at the myths of e-learning, and a lot of you came up with some really interesting information and aha moments for you. And so I wanted to bring it up. Irias said that online learning is reaching out to students who would have had difficulties attending school. The homeschool teacher is not always well versed in every topic, leaving the student isolated. And that's true. Sometimes that is the case. But when you say online learning is reaching out to students who would have difficulties attending school, open it even further up. Think about kids that are chronic absentee students. They may be having issues with home life. They may just not fit in at high school. When I was in high school, I was part of a subgroup that was not accepted at my high school, and therefore I didn't really feel like I fit in. I was also had been in the gifted program my entire life, so I was moving at a really, really fast pace. And I ended up graduating high school at 16 and moving on to college, which was a better fit for me. However, if there had been online learning at the time that I had been in high school, imagine all that I could have done and how I could have still found a way to interact with my teachers and my peers through online education. So sometimes, it's not just the difficulty of, a student being homeschooled. It could be chronic absenteeism. It could be students not comfortable with the pace. Either they want a slower pace or they want a quicker pace. It could be students that are struggling with home hospital and maybe getting well from a surgery or an illness, or may suffer a chronic illness. Or it could work really well for students that have extreme anxiety disorder. And it could be a way for them to be in the classroom and to be with everyone, but still be, kind of outside of that realm. So that's something that you want to think about. Okay, moving on. Um, I'm going through this. Lynette, you had talked about, you said, we just got a second Chromebook cart last week between three classes, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, absolutely. The Chromebook carts, they make a real difference with technology in the classroom. And the great thing is that you guys are at, with a group of children that are excited to be on computers and excited to learn. And the more that you can bring them into that e-technology, the better it's going to be for them in high school, because we're using it more and more these days. Selena, you said, I agree that it is frustrating when many online resources are provided and parents ask for more resources to help their students succeed. I like using BuzzMath because students have access through the summer and the program covers K through 8. Students can review and preview. To date, only one student out of the last 4 years has ever gone on the program to preview seventh grade. His parents asked about what to do to help him, and I gave them their choices, and I'm so happy that they actually followed through. I noticed that too. All the times, people will ask for things like that, resources and stuff. And it's the same with, I notice it on School Loop. I think I told you all, I design and do the graphic design for the yearbook at our school. And I will send out email after email after email to parents and students who've requested information. And, we can see who's opened them and who hasn't. And it's a very small percentage of people that after they ask for resources or information really check in. So that does become frustrating. But once again, then that comes back to, maybe you're going to have to set a boundary about what e-learning and what things that you want to use. And maybe you can find a way to make it an assignment for points, but once again, then you have to figure out equity in that situation. Okay. A lot of you are talking about parents and parent involvement as being an issue. Casey said, parent involvement is always an issue and it seems to start younger and younger. I also think that those first few years of schooling and social interaction are important and telling. They may help serve as a starting point for their continued online education. Absolutely. And, parenting, it is difficult these days to get a lot of parent involvement. And that may have to do with parents working numerous jobs or, providing childcare at home or having multiple children at multiple schools, so that's something that you have to look at. Oh, Jason, you wrote that. Thank you for saying that you liked my videos. I always wonder if anybody's watching them, but I do appreciate that. And I like being able to at least, talk to you a little bit. And I like what you said. One myth I would have agreed with before reading is that online learners have very little social interaction. I was even nodding my head in agreement as I read that myth. It didn't even occur to me that students could use video conferencing as part of their educational experience. Absolutely. Online learners, it does not have to be an isolating experience. It can actually be a very communal experience. And once again, as I was saying earlier, especially with people with anxiety disorders, or people that are extremely shy, sometimes this type of one-on-one, video conferencing communication makes things a little bit easier for them to come out of their shell and join in. And one of the things that I really like about Turnitin, and this goes to what you're saying, Jason, and then somebody also said, let me go back to it, personalized learning. Jordana, you brought up personalized learning, and Elizabeth, you brought up social interaction, and Rosalind, you brought up personalized learning. Patricia, you're using Kahoot, which is really cool with your students. And there was somebody else that brought up personal learning. I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it right now. But one of the things that I really love about Turnitin is that when I give my students writing information, tips on their essays and how to improve, one of the cool things that I really love about Turnitin is that it has an audio feature. And so instead of them just getting the writing back on their paper, I can actually make an individualized audio message to each student that then personalizes the lesson. And what's really cool about that is you would think that it would take a lot of time, but it doesn't. You're thinking those things as you're grading the paper anyways. So you kind of have the conversation. It gives you time to talk to that student one-on-one. And then what's great about the Turnitin audio is it saves. So once you've given the information, say you want a student to work on basic formatting, or you want a student to work on introductions, and you've given them all of this specific information related to what they're doing. Then if you see the same mistake again, you can actually say to the student, did you listen to the audio that I made you? But have you gone back to that to look at that again? Do you understand what I was saying in that message? And they have a personal message. Another thing that I do to personalize instructions is when I have groups do public speaking or multimedia. Of course, I give them feedback at the time, but I also make a private video like I'm doing for you guys right now and go over things with my students so that that small group has their personalized instruction. So you see, e-learning and technology can really make a difference in personalizing things and make it easier for you in the long run. So start thinking about those things in your classroom and see if you can knock some of those myths out of the park. So I look forward to talking to you soon, and anybody that I didn't address in the discussion board today, I'll get to you before the end of class. Take care.